Are you ready for Halloween? Yes! Chef Kevin Belton here, getting you ready for that big day. Let's get started. Now, here's what we're gonna do today. Got two things for you. We're gonna do a creepy pasta. And then we're gonna do graveyard parfaits. You'll see them. Now, gang, I've taken rotini. I've boiled them, rinsed them, a little olive oil, and then I toss them with some Parmesan cheese. You know, that's just a little piece of garlic that I like to boil in my pasta. Now, this is a spring-form pan that you normally do a cheesecake in, all right? I brushed the inside with olive oil, and I had it sitting at an angle, and I took the pasta and just stood it up. That's why we want a rotini, because look at all the little holes in there. So what I've done, I used half of my Parmesan cheese in with the pasta. And here I've taken marinara sauce and put Parmesan cheese in here. So I'm using the rigatoni because it's open. Now, you know, penne has that same opening, but it's at an angle. The rigatoni is cut flat. That's why I want this. Now, this is where you can get a little dirty. So we're gonna take some of our sauce, and we want to pour about half the sauce over the top. Now I'm going to cover this with plastic wrap, and we need to kind of just pounce it in. What I'm doing, I want that sauce to go down to the bottom as much as possible, okay? So let's get the rest of our sauce on. Make sure I get it all around the sides. And you notice the oven is preheating at 400 degrees. All right. Let's give this another. It's getting down in there, gang. You'd be surprised how it's going. Look how that has settled in. Now, let's get this in the oven. We're gonna bake this off right now for 15 minutes. All right, look at that. Now remember, we had the rigatoni standing straight up so that sauce could go down in. We baked it off for 15 minutes. You know, I might give it another little tap, but I'm gonna be real careful because it's really, really hot. There you go, it settled back down a little bit. So now, here's some mozzarella cheese. Now we had Parmesan mixed in. Let's put some mozzarella just all over the top. This is about a cup of mozzarella. And then, you know, of course you could do more or less, however you like. Now we're gonna put this back in the oven. This is gonna go another 15 minutes. And then to finish it off, we have some more cheese that we're gonna put on with the olives, but I'll show you how to do that. So let's get this back in the oven. This will bake another 15 minutes, and while that's baking, next time you see me, I'll be working on something sweet for you to get ready for Halloween. Welcome back, gang. Now, let's take care and make some graveyard parfaits. What I have here, who doesn't love Oreo cookies? I have taken Oreos and I've just broken them up, okay? Now, this is just a sleeve of Oreo cookies. I have 4 tablespoons of butter that I just melted, and I just want to toss this together. You know, normally you do this and you can push this down into a pie pan to make a nice crust from it. Well, we're going to use it instead of a crust. We're going to use it in a similar fashion, but a little different. We just want to get that tossed in, okay? Now, that's done. What we have here, we have evaporated milk. I have just canned pumpkin. Now let's get some of this pumpkin in. I guess some of the pumpkin will have a little Oreo on it, but that's okay. Hey, come out of there, Oreo. Get off of there. All right. Here, I have instant vanilla pudding. I also have a teaspoon of cinnamon, okay? But this is instant vanilla pudding. And the reason you want instant is because of the fact that, you know, with regular pudding, you have to cook it. Here with this instant, once we start working this together and whisking it. Now, yeah, of course, if you want, you could break out the equipment, an electric blender, but that's not necessary. We just want to work this together really good. And you know, just after a minute or two, this will start to thicken. All right? So if you don't want to whip out the electric mixer, that's fine. We could just use a little arm power, you know, like grandmother always had us do. And if you notice, look, this is where we're going to put this in. Can you see how this is going to come together? With our crust and then with our filling here. Now, we put a little cinnamon in. If you want to put in a little splash of vanilla, you can, all right? Somebody asked me about doing this recipe when I was telling them what I was doing, talked about using chocolate pudding. Now, I don't think the chocolate pudding and the pumpkin would go together. If you want to do the chocolate pudding, I would leave the pumpkin out, all right? I've never had pumpkin and chocolate before, okay? But, you can try it if you want to. Give it a shot, see how that comes out. As you see already, this is starting to thicken on us, okay? That's what we want. See how that's coming together? It's getting nice and thick because we're gonna whip it just a little bit more. And what I want to do, I want to go ahead and put this in the refrigerator. I want to make sure I have it in the refrigerator for at least 5 minutes, okay? We can do this ahead of time so it'll chill. So this doesn't have to be totally cold for us to serve it, but if you want to do it ahead, of course you can, all right? So when we come back, I'll show you how we're gonna finish off our pasta pie, our creepy pasta pie, and I'll show you how we're gonna finish off these graveyard parfaits, how they're gonna get served. So we'll see you in a little bit. Guys, I'm finishing off our creepy pasta pie. So the mozzarella on top, and these are just little cut pieces of olive that I'm just putting there as eyes. Now, I like to put this on the table just like it is, but make sure you take a knife, run it around the sides, okay, just to loosen it up before you take it loose. But make sure you run that knife all the way around before you pop it. And make sure when you take it out of the oven, it has to sit for at least 15 minutes before you try to take it loose. So remember, we had the crumbled Oreos with the butter. So you see, I've put them down in our mason jar. Our pudding has chilled with the pumpkin, okay? Now, the only thing I want to do with this is put in a little whipped cream. You could either do whipped cream, you could do Cool Whip. We just want to fold a little in. It just makes it a lighter texture. That's all. Just fold that in there. Now, let's just take some and drop it right down into our jars. How much do you want to put in? It's totally up to you. How far do you want to bring it up to the top? All right. But you could keep going, keep going. And you notice I have taken some of the little cookies. I've taken the Milano cookies and have written R.I.P. for rest in peace. So look, let's take a little bit of our crumbles, put right on the top. Now, if you want, you could melt chocolate chips and then put them in a Ziploc bag, melt them, and then cut the tip off. Or you can buy decorating gel that's a chocolate flavor and just write them on. That's the easier way to do this. So now all we have to do is take these and stick it right down in. and look at that looks. All right. So we have our creepy pasta pie. We have our Halloween parfaits, our graveyard parfaits with our rest in peace cookie. All right. Now, remember, we did this with the vanilla pudding. You could use chocolate, but the most important thing is having a wonderful, safe Halloween. So to everyone out there, for WWL TV, I'm Chef Kevin Belton, and happy Halloween! Be safe, everybody. Keep washing those hands, masking up. We will see you soon.